Last one.
But
PLFC I did.
Regardless of if he listens or not, his quick movements are his style. We critique him to slow down, and he'll probably eventually get there when he gets older. But excuse me,
as he gains more.
I chose a slow song at BLFC to make sure that I went slower.
Yeah. So I did the same thing when it came to TFF, but the biggest thing that I changed the music a little bit because I wanted to slow down, but I tried to figure out how I can incorporate the crowd, how to keep the crowd involved. So when I chose my song for TFF, I realized at the last second that it was just me. It was all about me. So I changed it to try and get the crowd going, because that to me is how I really don't care if you like my dance or not. I'm gonna try and get the crowd involved, and I'm gonna try and get them to laugh, and somehow handing out pizza, for example, or FC I handed out ice cream bars. At TFF, the kicker was doing the slow motion stuff and working on my critique, but about halfway through, I paused it and then got a laugh out of it because I said I'm done and actually started walking off stage, but had someone else come back and push me back in and continue the routine. Everybody thought I was done. Literally, I was like, someone actually stopped their video and then realized that I wasn't done yet. Because they played a version 1 and 2, first and 1 of 2 and 2 of 2.
That's so funny. I did not know that.
But the point is, I took the critique that they had given me and incorporated it into the next session that I knew I was going to. And they said that because you took that critique, it made your movements a lot more cleaner, and people can see them a lot easier. So constructive criticism, you have to be able to take it and incorporate it and use it to improve. So, yeah, awkward silence.
So does that answer your question about intimidation?
We're not here to do this, do that. This is what we would recommend you do.
Yeah.
Slow down. Clean up your angles. Try and get the 90-degree angles a little bit better. So stretching, things
This goes for everybody.
Yeah.
Including
stretching is really important.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. What? Anyway, the takeaways from intimidation. Everyone feel like they got some good takeaways from intimidation, or at least learned a little bit more?
Yes.
We're not all scary. We don't all think of ourselves. In fact, we shouldn't. If we do, then we become American scrap.
Yeah.
So how would someone in here actually work on their intimidation? What kind of techniques do you think you would use to overcome your intimidation? Anyway, don't make me pick somebody.
Don't intimidate them.
I can show you one technique. I'm just gonna go now.
Oh, okay, bye.
The bathrooms are right there.
I was just gonna say though, you also shouldn't be intimidated to come ask us for help. You can pull us aside. I'm pretty sure that if you asked us, hey, if we're not busy, of course, I'm pretty sure if you pulled us aside and say, hey, I want some critique on this or whatever, we probably would show you one or two things before
we would. And we would, if it's something that...
Don't be intimidated by us.
Yeah, and we can, I've helped people, hey, I'm doing this, and they would show me, they were like, what do you think? And then at one point, it was at BLFC, and at one point, he got up off the floor. He just basically stood up, and to go into his moves. And then I showed him a different way of actually climbing to your feet instead of going from your stomach to your feet. What he was doing is he was just crawling up, but he had that few count, that few rhythm sets that he had to space it out. So what I told him was instead of just climbing to your feet, I guess he was doing a front and back leg split. I don't know, it's like a scissor split, I guess.
Yep.
And and then he would get up. But what I had incorporated, I had asked him to try out, was to instead of just climbing, to actually bring that back foot around your body, all the way around, and then you roll to your stomach, and then like stand up as you do that, and that'll help fill in a few empty spots instead of looking at just a blank thing, just a simple like standing up. But it makes it a lot cleaner, and people can see you not just going around instead of just standing. So
now that both of them have, I can't see that.
So
Okay.
anybody else?
So now that those very healthy clues have been given, does anyone have any ideas about how they would get over intimidation? Back to Racket's question. Anyone?
Anybody at all?
Well, if you had like a supportive group, like say like there was a dance like tonight, say around 11 o'clock, and if you had like a supportive
Are you
group
spinning
there-
tonight? That sounds like a personal
Yeah,
ad.
if they like just pulled you into that group or made you dance, that'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool to help.
Yeah.
you over it.
Do you think that maybe like for yourself, do you think that if someone actually pulled you into that circle, would you feel more intimidated or less intimidated?
I think less intimidated.
Less intimidated now after we've talked? Yeah?
Because at some
Well, if
point,
it's people that that we met like earlier in the day
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
sort of panel or something.
and then even some people that you like, if you're standing in that circle and you realize that they're like more like you can obviously see that they're an experienced dancer, and then sometimes like even the experienced dancers, if we notice that one person hasn't gone yet, we'll actually like try and incorporate you to come out.
Yeah.
Like I mean, everybody else is gone. You're obviously the only person who's gone. And we know, and that one person notices. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna ask you, hey, come on in. Let's, just have fun. That's all it's about.
It may translate into very like aggressive
Yeah,
shoves.
go, just do it.
But that's us
We're
being
gonna
encouraged.
turn this into the new Nike
like,
commercial.
Other great example is who here came in late? Raise your hand. You know who you are because we said welcome very loud, right?
And
We
made you dance.
We made you dance.
If we made you dance, raise your hand.
Yeah, we made you dance. That's
There you
the
go.
same thing as getting shoved in the center of the circle without even knowing,
Yeah. See,
right?
you've already started dancing in a circle.
Who here saw those people dance? Who here thinks that they could do what those people did? Right? Ish, hands-ish kind of thing. That's what happened. It
don't
can be as
remember what
short
they
or
did.
as long as you want it to be. Again, it's all about
We
being
see in the
comfortable.
back, she's doing this
She's
whole
still
thing.
doing
right?
her little thing.
You
And
see,
so
the
now
thing
it's
is,
outside
the thing
of
is,
opening.
the thing about dancing is, look, she can, do this, and then I can do it, and you'd be like, oh, well, you're really plain, and she's super colorful and cute and cuddly, so you're ugly and she's cute, so I'm just gonna watch her more.
So yeah. So I mean, name of the game is with intimidation is we're all family. We're all going to be supporting each other, and don't be afraid to hear what may sound like devastating things to you, but in reality are things to help you improve.
Yeah.
It may translate in your head as, oh darn, I look stupid, but that's not what it is. It's, hey, you got something there.
Yeah.
Let's build on that.
Think of it as the community itself, as like this fandom. Everybody here doesn't have a suit, but everybody here has a common interest. It's the same thing. Everybody has a common interest in dancing, regardless of what style it is.
You wouldn't be in here if you weren't.
Yeah. If you weren't interested in some kind of dance, then you wouldn't be sitting here, unless you were like, I'm just in here because I didn't go to the cabaret. Because that was the original point of this. That was the
Good
original
job.
point.
Good job. The veil has been unveiled. It's been unleashed. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the
So,
elephant in the room.
but
Are there
every-
any elephants in the room? Anyone? No?
We came here to pee.
Oh, that's right. She
He has
wanted
a
to
crazy
pee.
thing going.
Who needs water?
That panel's tomorrow. It's not tomorrow.
Is there actually like a baby where I wet myself?
Please,
No, but there is a panel. It's sexual harassment and what is and what isn't allowed.
No means check and make sure. It's true. All right.
No means better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Anyway, what was after intimidation?
Yeah.
I've got something that would go good with the transition. Which would be
Transition of what? We were
What's
just talking
next
about sexual harassment.
No, we're talking about intimidation, right? But what also goes hand in hand with intimidation is also nervousness. Somebody else said they were nervous.
Ah, yeah. Look at that transition.
I just wanted to state that like I'm pretty sure I know for me at least that every time it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure it's with these guys as well. Every time you go on stage, no matter how good you are, I always get butterflies when I go on stage. I am so nervous to go on stage. So you're not the only ones, okay? Even the professionals or people who've been dancing for a while are nervous when they go on stage.
Yeah.
So we're all in the same boat, okay?
Yeah. You see all those people that are dancing, they do this, they have headphones in and they're going over their routine, just doing that thing. They're all nervous because they're all nervous they're going to mess up. But in all reality, if us as first seaters mess up, then it's like, oh well, that's cute. I mean, we messed up in our routine, and like we for a prelims, we messed up. We messed up big time.
Big time.
And they thought it was part of the routine.
They really did.
And then we told them it wasn't part of the routine. And they were like, you should still do it that way. But so we were like, I was nervous. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, every time, it's every single time I'm nervous. Like there's a moment when you just sit here and you bounce around and you're like, okay, I got this. I don't got this. No, I don't. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So everybody's nervous. Even I guess I've been studying dance for 3 years now, and I still feel the same way when I did my second one. Not my first one because I was drunk when I did that one. But my second one, and then from that point on, it was this is gonna be like the best performance, or how am I gonna make this better in my life?
That's such heavy pressure. Having to be better than you were before is such humongous pressure. So that's something on the top side. But in general, the way that I like to define nervousness is the feeling that you get in your body when you want something to go right. When you, and each word is important. You, yourself, want. It's something that you are looking forward to. Mm-hmm. Something. This something is dance. I guess two isn't that important. It defines an infinitive. Anyway, to go right, that phrase, to go right, you want success. Mm-hmm. Right before a big final exam, if you're in college or high school, you get nervous. Will I remember everything? Am I going to remember the formula? Is my essay going to be good enough? It's the same kind of nervousness. You want something to go right. You're getting married. Oh man, I hope that he or she says I do. I hope they actually show up, right? They don't have to show up, right? You want something to go right. And that's what nervousness is. But you have a very intentional choice at that moment to let it be a negative emotion or a positive emotion, right? And if you choose to turn it from nervousness into excitement, then it's a positive emotion. You have to control it still because you can kind of get out of hand. You can get sloppy because you're too excited, that kind of stuff. But if you continue giving yourself the mantra, I want this, I can do this, I'm going to get this, I will achieve what I achieve, then it's a positive emotion. If you take nervousness and translate it to anxiety, which is a very natural thing to do, and it's okay for that to happen, then it's like, oh gosh, what if something doesn't work? What if I mess up? What if I forget something? What if? Notice that the beginning part of each phrase is different. What if is a very anxiety-driving statement, and it's going to beget more what ifs. I will is a very affirmative statement, and if you visualize that, it's going to beget more positive statements. You'll always have the ability to continue to draw into the negative, but it's much harder to go from the negative to the positive. This is something that you need to practice. It's very, very hard. unless you've got that big of an ego. But it's very, very hard, and it's okay to find yourself on the negative side a little bit more often than you want. But you have to recognize and know that it's a conscious decision to be on the negative side. Don't let the world control you. Control what you can control, and let go of the things you can't. Let go of the fact that someone else is controlling the lights and you might get blinded. Let go of the fact that there's going to be a panel of judges and they're going to evaluate you on their set of criteria. Let go of the fact that maybe there's this random hole in your fursuit and there's nothing you can do about it anymore. What you can control are your emotions. What else can you do to help make you be less nervous when it comes to putting on a performance? Any kind of performance. Show of hands?
Show of paws.
Any ideas of what you can do to be less nervous? Or what have you guys done to be less nervous?
I basically, I just sort of feel myself in the moment. I ignore what's going on around me.
Great. So you find this moment of zen where it's just you in the moment. You're becoming more self-aware and you're reducing the number of distractions that are around you because they don't matter, right? Okay. Go for it.
I just don't look at people's eyes.
Don't look at people's eyes. Okay.
Don't
What
look-
about looking at people's eyes? Or what happens when you don't look at people's eyes? What does that help you do?
I just imagine they're smiling or
Imagine you're
cheering.
smiling. Great.
Yeah.
So you're visualizing a positive environment around you.
Yeah.
It's a very important one.
That's
Any
that's
other
actually a
ideas?
good point, because if you actually look in someone's